Hi, John Chapin with your latest sales tip. And today's sales tip centers around the biggest mistakes that salespeople make that lead to failure. So let's get right into it. Mistake number one, no goals and no clue how much activity needs to be done to be successful. So recently I began working with a new salesperson who's been struggling. The first question I asked him was, how many calls did you make last week to new prospects? His answer, I think about 4. You think 4? Is that number too big to count? The truth is he didn't keep track, and I guarantee you it wasn't 4. Maybe been 3, 2, or even 0. But everyone always overestimates the number of calls they make when they aren't keeping track. And by the way, I don't know of any business where 4 prospecting calls in a week equals success, especially when you're just starting out. In order to be successful, you have to have annual, monthly, and weekly goals along with the daily activity it takes to achieve those goals. So start with your annual goal. Figure out how many sales you have to make to hit it, and then based upon your closing percentage, figure out the number of proposals you need to present to get those, and from there figure out the number of prospects you need in order to get that number of proposals. And then from there you're looking at the initial calls and follow-up activities you need in order to get that number of prospects. Mistake number 2, no plan of action. So obviously if you don't have the goals mentioned in mistake number 1, you're probably not going to have the plan to make the calls and get the work done. But once you have the goals and the daily activity, you have to have a plan for when you're going to do the activities necessary to hit the goals. The most important part of the plan is a time block schedule for getting those done. Mistake number 3, not spending enough time on sales activities. This is a big one. The most important activities, sales activities, that's prospecting, presenting, closing. I say it all the time, I'm going to say it again right now. 99.9% of the time someone fails in sales, it's a failure of activity. They didn't make enough calls to talk to enough people to make enough sales. The other 0.1% of the time someone fails in sales, they get hit by a bus. If you don't spend enough time on sales activities, you're going to fail. Mistake number 4, not being prepared for sales situations. Once you do make the calls and finally talk to someone, you need to know exactly what to say. The average salesperson wings it. You have to be prepared for every sales situation you're going to encounter, and you have to practice that ahead of time, ideally with someone else, but if not, with yourself. Each and every answer has to be scripted, committed to memory, you know it verbatim, you sound natural, and it rolls off your tongue in real life situations. Number 5, giving up too soon. 81% of appointments are made after the 4th contact. 80% of salespeople don't make it to the 4th contact. You need to reach out 9 to 13 times before someone's going to get back to you or before you're going to reach them. Number 6, focusing primarily on reactive versus proactive marketing. The one sure way to build business is to proactively ring phones and knock on doors. Introduce yourself to strangers, let them know who you are and how you can help them or the people they know. Doing this is the only direct method you have complete control over. Sitting on social media, going to a bunch of networking groups, seeing the same people over and over again, whose primary goal is to get business for them, not you. Spam emailing people or thinking you're going to find the magic trick or bullet that will help you avoid rejection is a recipe for failure. You got to grab the bull by the horns and proactively reach out to people, not hope they're going to see you on social media and reach out to you. Look, do you want to do social media and the networking groups and the other things? Sure. Those are secondary. They're not the primary way to get people into your pipeline. That's reactive. You want to be proactive. Ring the phones, knock on the doors. Mistake number 7, not doing the work necessary for success. This pretty much wraps up all the mistakes I've already mentioned. So it's not doing the work means not setting the goals for the activities that need to get done, not having the plan to get those done, missing those turns into not spending enough time on those activities, and then if someone's not doing that work, they're also not doing the work to prepare for the sales conversations, and then they don't put in the work to do the necessary follow-up. Generally speaking, those are also the people who are afraid of rejection, so they don't do the proactive marketing, picking up the phone and knocking on the door. Bottom line, you simply have to do the work. So those are the biggest mistakes made by salespeople. If you are making a lot of these mistakes and you want to know where to start to maybe clean things up, begin with number 3. Most important thing is sales activities. Talking to people about what you do as much as you can, talking to strangers. If you clean that one up and you talk to enough people, that will help. That will make the biggest impact. If you want to clean up another one, clean up mistake number 4, which is when you do talk to people, make sure you actually know what to say. By the way, I cover all this extensively in my book, Sales Encyclopedia. You can find that on my website at CompleteSelling.com. Thanks for watching. For more information, go to CompleteSelling.com. And if you like this video, do me a favor and hit subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you on the next video.